Effectiveness of Unit Planning by Andrea Stewart. Characteristics of an effective unit plan. When you are planning a unit, it is best to begin with the end. In other words, ask yourself, what do you want your students to achieve? As you plan your unit, you should ask yourself a few questions like, what is the big vision or big idea of the unit? What is the primary educational intent for this unit? What do my students know right now? What should my students know and be able to do by the end of this unit? How can I adjust my instruction to meet the needs of all my students? How am I going to scaffold my lessons to build upon my students' existing knowledge? And lastly, what formative and summative assessments will best ensure that all students have reached their desired outcome? Effective lesson plans. An effective lesson plan engages, differentiates, scaffolds, and involves your students. When planning a lesson, each learning concept should build on the previous one, serving as your instructional roadmap. When planning a lesson, you want to start with a standard and measurable objectives. For example, students should be able to. Then you want to set a purpose for the lesson. Describe the big ideas and the overarching reason for the lesson. After that, you want to create teaching strategies and student activities. When creating your learning activities, you first want to verify what your students already know. Also, you want to link the lesson to the standard and let students know exactly what they will know and be able to do as a result of the lesson. Then you want to present the body of the lesson. This may be a whole group or small group activity. During this part of the lesson, you are providing direct instruction. It is important to engage students by modeling and thinking aloud. Next, instruction should be guided. Students should explore and work with partners. Instruction should be interactive. At this time, instruction can be differentiated for those who need it. Next, you should evaluate students and determine their level of understanding. At this time, students are working alone and take full responsibility for the outcome of their work. Next, learning is collaborative. Students are working with classmates to share outcomes. You are providing support and clarifying any confusion. Lastly, you want to end the lesson by summarizing the learning of the day and discussing how it fits into the big vision. Finally, you want to provide a formative assessment to evaluate students' understanding. Assessments. Formative assessments provide students and teachers with the information they need to improve the learning process while it's happening. Summative assessments, however, are generally administered at the end of a unit or course. Examples of formative assessments include exit tickets, graphic organizers, teacher observation, and games. Examples of summative assessments include end of unit or chapter tests, benchmark assessments, or state exams. Reflection. Teachers and students benefit from thoughtful unit and lesson planning. They both provide a framework for instruction and guide the implementation of standards. Lesson planning establishes a roadmap for teachers of what has been taught and what needs to be taught. Lesson plans allow teachers to focus on one objective at a time and communicate to students what they will learn in each lesson. In addition, lessons incorporate ongoing assessments that determine how well students understand concepts and skills. Lastly, these assessments help teachers to scaffold and differentiate instruction and provide additional supports for students. Thank you.